Welcome everyone to this explainer. Let's jump right in. Today we're unpacking one of the absolute most fascinating tactical stories in recent football history, Italy's incredible Euro 2020 triumph. Now on the surface, this looked like a story about Roberto Mancini's modern, pressing, attacking renaissance, right? But our core thesis today is that this beautiful, free-flowing attacking flair was actually built entirely on a super ancient, old-school foundation. And that foundation? The sheer defensive mastery of Giorgio Chiellini.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to anchor our entire analysis today around this honestly brilliant quote from Jose Mourinho. Defending at this elite level, it's not just about brute force, It's not just kicking shins or recklessly throwing your body on the line. No, it is a highly intellectual pursuit. It's basically a cerebral game of chess. And as Mourinho brilliantly points out here, Chiellini and his partner Leonardo Bonucci, they're basically the tenured professors of the craft.
Section 1. The soul of the Italian game, the joy of defending.
To truly wrap our heads around Chiellini's massive impact at Euro 2020, we first really need to understand the culture he comes from. Because in the Italian game, defending isn't just some chore you do when you don't have the ball. Absolutely not. It is treated as an art form. And that is set perfectly by this one moment from the opening game of the tournament. Picture this. Italy is already crushing Turkey 3-0. It's deep into stoppage time, the match is 100% won, yet Chiellini makes this desperate last-gasp challenge to stop a late attack. And what does he do? He gets up off the ground, violently punches the air, and celebrates with his teammates like he literally just scored the winning goal in a final. That sheer exuberance, that desperate passion for preserving a clean sheet, that lays bare the absolute soul of this Italian team. And the thing is, Chiellini isn't some crazy anomaly. He's actually the latest torchbearer in an outstanding, decades-long lineage of legendary Italian stoppers. We're talking a heritage that goes all the way back to the 1960s, with Helenio Herrera's Grande Enter dominating with that famous catenaccio, or bolt lock system. It flows right through the 1980s, where Franco Baresi's sculpted defensive duty into pure virtuosity, right on up to Fabio Cannavaro captaining Italy to the 2006 World Cup. Chiellini just inherited this tradition. He takes seemingly unpromising raw physical material and sculpts it into absolute brilliance.
Section 2. Harvard Professors of Defending, the Tactical Blueprint and the Stats.
All right, let's transition from the romance of the Italian defensive heritage over to the cold, hard numbers. We're going to look at some deep data provided by StatsBomb that totally proves how Chiellini's brilliant mind essentially does all the heavy lifting for his aging body. I want you to just take a second to let this number sink in. 0. This is just a staggering statistic. This is the exact number of times Giorgio Chiellini was dribbled past in the entire Euro 2020 tournament. Let me repeat that. Not once did an attacker successfully take the ball past him one-on-one. Now, the context surrounding that 0 is what makes it truly unbelievable. Chiellini was 36 years old during this tournament, and he was coming off the back of a recent, very severe cruciate ligament rupture. By all standard footballing logic, the guy completely lacked prime mobility and should have been horribly exposed playing in Roberto Mancini's really high defensive line. But his positional dominance was so supreme, his anticipation so sharp, that he didn't just adapt, he absolutely thrived. He also finished with the third most possession-adjusted clearances per 90 minutes among all center backs. That basically proves he was constantly exactly where he needed to be to repel danger.
Section 3. Mastering the Dark Arts, Psychological Warfare.
Now, positioning and clearances, that's really only half the story. If we shift our focus slightly to the mental side of his game, exploring how Chiellini completely breaks down opponents before the referee even blows the whistle, I want to pose a question directly to you. If you are a 36-year-old defender with aging legs, how do you beat forwards who are a decade younger and literally twice as fast as you? Well, the answer lies in turning the game into a mental chess match. You beat them in the mind before they can ever beat you in a foot race.
Let's contrast two captains for a second. Harry Kane, the young England captain, is often praised in the media as being streetwise for his ability to win clever fouls. But honestly, when you put him next to Chiellini, Kane looks positively innocent. Chiellini operates with what has been perfectly described as a magnificent malevolence. He has been around the block so many times that he knows every single trick, every psychological trigger, and every loophole in the rulebook.
Just look at his specific tactics for intimidation. Before the incredibly tense penalty shootout against Spain in the semifinal, Chiellini effectively bullied the Spanish captain Jordi Alba right at the coin toss. He was pinching his cheek, hugging him, laughing with this completely manic smile, projecting complete alpha male dominance while Alba looked visibly stressed out. I mean, this is a guy who famously frustrated Luis Suarez so much back in 2014 that Suarez actually bit him. And throughout every single match, you'll see him constantly barking instructions, ensuring his defensive structure remains perfectly rigid. He literally just breaks the opposition's will.
Section 4. Freedom to attack. The enabler.
So having established this impenetrable, intimidating wall at the back, we need to see how the bedrock of Chiellini and Bonucci actually allowed Roberto Mancini's modern, highly aggressive pressing system to function. You might have heard the term tir-gir during the tournament. It's Neapolitan slang for a curling finish, beautifully trademarked by Lorenzo Insigne, like his stunning goal against Belgium. This beautiful, expressive attacking flair is the face of Mancini's Italy, but it's entirely dependent on those center backs. Insigne can only take those risks and try those wild curling shots because he knows he has ultimate security behind him if he happens to lose the ball.
This dynamic is perfectly illustrated by the tournament leaders for progressive carries per 90 minutes. Italy's left wingback Leonardo Spinazzola was first overall, and right winger Federico Chiesa was second. They were given absolute total freedom to bomb forward, carry the ball high up the pitch, and completely dominate offensively. And why? Because Chiellini's immense cover and ability to win duels near the halfway line meant Italy could commit bodies forward without any real fear of a counterattack.
And this defensive solidity, it also provided the perfect platform for the midfield, specifically Jorginho. He was the metronome of the team, playing a massive 585 minutes. When teams like Spain heavily dominated possession against Italy, it was Jorginho's crucial interceptions and steady rhythm that kept Italy afloat. He was that vital link between that hardened defense and the super dynamic attack.
Section 5. The ultimate Wembley triumph. The climax.
This brings us to the climax of the whole tournament, the ultimate test at Wembley Stadium for the Euro 2020 final. Facing a totally hostile crowd and mired in an early deficit after Luke Shaw's historically fast second-minute goal, Italy really struggled against a deep English block. So how did they break through? Well, it wasn't just open play, it was meticulous planning. Using set-piece mastermind Johnny Vio's playbook, Italy caused absolute chaos in the box from a corner. Jordan Pickford made a great save on Marco Verratti's initial header, but who was there to scramble in the rebound? Leonardo Bonucci. The old guard stepping up, turning tactical preparation into the crucial equalizer.
With the game tied after extra time, we went to penalties. And here, the Italian mentality just held incredibly firm. Goalkeepers Gianluigi Donnarumma made decisive saves against Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka. This shootout victory secured a staggering 34-game unbeaten streak for Roberto Mancini's side, and it finally ended a massive 53-year wait for a European title for the Italian nation.
It was just a spectacular turnaround for a team that had literally failed to even qualify for the World Cup just a few years prior. The phrase echoing around the Italian camp really said it all. It's comin' Rome.
Which leaves us with this final thought. We rightly celebrate the goals, the progressive carries, and the beautiful pressing of this modern Italian team. But you have to ask yourself, could Italy's beautiful, modern attacking renaissance have ever truly existed without the ancient, dark arts and the intellectual mastery of their defensive foundation? It's just a fascinating look at how the future of football still desperately relies on the masters of the past. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning what really wins championships.